Okay, boys and girls, this is day 14, part 2. Sorry, it told me that I had reached my maximum length of time. So we left off here where we had changed these two mixed numbers into improper fractions, and we subtracted them to get 13 over 8. And now we were going to change 13/8 into a mixed number to record it as our answer in its simplest form. So remember 13 sleeping on the top bunk, it goes into the house. It leaves 8 who's sleeping on the bottom bunk outside of the house. And 8 will go into 13 one time. There's 5 left over. Remember, we write our remainder over top of our denominator or our divisor. So the correct answer over here is going to be 1 5/8. We ask ourselves, is 5/8 in simplest form? And it is. So we're in really good shape there, boys and girls. Down here, I really do not like the way that they have set this up for you. So we're going to set it up differently. The first thing we're going to notice is that the 2/5 minus the 4/5 cannot be done. So we're going to rewrite 5 2/5 as an improper fraction. 5 times 5 is 25 plus 2 is 27. I leave my denominator 5. We're going to rewrite 3 4/5 as an improper fraction. 3 times 5 is 15 plus 4 is 19 over 5. Now that we've got like fractions, just improper, which is okay, we're going to subtract 27 minus 19. 27 minus 19 is 8. We put that over our 5, 8/5. Now we're going to divide. Remember, top bunk goes in, bottom bunk has to stay out. 5 goes into 8 once. 3 left over, we write that 3 on top, and the divisor, the 5 on the bottom. We can record our answer over there, 1 3/5. 3/5 is in simplest form. Both 3 and 5 are prime numbers. So we have 1 3/5. We're going to come over here to page 691. We're going to do a few of these page ones together today. And we're going to do some different ones. There's a few that we're going to skip, and we'll look at those together tomorrow. I am looking at number 2 first. 3/8 minus 5/8. I cannot subtract that. So I'm going to turn both of these into improper fractions. 8 times 4 is 32, plus the 3 is 35. Leave my denominator 8. I'm going to turn 1 5/8 into an improper fraction. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 5 is 13. Put that over 8. These are like fractions, so that's nice. 35 minus 13. 35 minus 13 is 22 over 8. Let's set this up. 22 goes in, 8 stays out. 8 can go into 22 2 times. That's 16 with a remainder of 6. We're going to put the 6 on top, the 8 on the bottom. One more thing I notice, I can divide 6/8 by a number. I can divide both of those by 2. So I leave my whole number 2 on top. 6 divided by 2 is 3. On bottom, 8 divided by 2 is 4. So for number 2, correct answer 2 3/4. That's all the way into simplest form. Let's try a couple more. Number 3, the first thing I notice is that the denominator in the top mixed number is 6. The denominator in the bottom of the mixed number is 3. I want to turn this 3 into a 6, and I'm going to multiply it by 2 to get 1 and then a 6 on the bottom. If I multiply the bottom by 2, I got to multiply the top by 2. 1 and 2/6. Up here, 3 and 1/6. The problem I have here is that 1/6 take away 2/6. I can't do that. So I'm going to turn both of these into improper fractions. 6 times 3, 18, plus 1 is 19 over 6. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 2 is 8, 8 over 6. Let's subtract them. 19 take away 8 is 11 over 6. Let's turn this improper fraction into a mixed number. 6 goes into 11 once. Remainder is 5. The remainder goes on top. The divisor goes on the bottom. 1 and 5/6. Let's try number 4 together. Same thing. I noticed that the top mixed number has a denominator of 4. The bottom mixed number only has a denominator of 2. I'm going to turn that 2 in 4 and 1/2 into a 4. If I multiply the bottom by 2, I got to multiply the top by 2. So I rewrote that as 4 and 2/4. I'm going to fill in my 5 and 1/4 right here. Now, 1/4 take away 2/4. I can't do that. So I'm going to turn both of these into improper fractions. 5 and 1/4 is 21/4. 4 and 2/4 is 18/4. 21 take away 18 is 3/4. That's already in simplest form. 3 is 1 away from 4. It's not improper because the 3 is smaller than the 4. I want you guys to pause the video right now, and I want you to come over and try number 5. Just number 5. Go ahead and pause it and try it, and then I'm going to show you how I solved it. Okay, welcome back. So the first thing I have to do is turn the denominators into 10. Both of them need to be changed. On the top, I multiplied the top and the bottom by 5 to make it 7 and 5/10. On the bottom fraction, I multiply both the top and the bottom by 2 to make it 8/10. Just looking at the fraction amounts, 5/10 minus 8/10, I can't do that. It would be a negative number. So I'm going to turn both of these into improper fractions. 7 and 5/10. Well, 10 times 7 is 70, plus 5 is 75/10. 3 and 8/10. 10 times 3 is 30, plus 8 is 38/10. Now you guys know I do not like to subtract with regrouping without setting it up separately. So over here, I'm going to do a little bit of scratch work. That 5 becomes a 15 because I'm going to regroup 10 from the 7. So 15 minus 8 is 7. 6 take away 3. 37. So this whole thing equals 37 over 10. 37 over 10. That is improper. So I'm going to set up a division box. 37 goes in, 10 stays out. 10 goes into 37 3 times with 7 remainder. The 7 goes on top. The 10 stays on the bottom. 3 and 7/10. 7/10 is in simplest form. You can't divide any number by 1. You can't divide any number into 7 and 10 except for 1. So 3 and 7/10 is in simplest form. I am going to go to a Fido Day 14 Part 3 in just a minute. So if you want to find that video and get it set up, but I want you guys to do numbers 8, 9, and 10. Those are the 3 that I'm going to go over with you in Part 3 of Day 14. Okay?